Hey guys, so this is my Raspberry Pi desktop setup. So a little bit of background why I'm using this nowadays is because my laptop is not working and it has been for a few days and I needed something to work on. So I have just gathered the parts that I already had on the house lying around and basically just set it up. So it's not ideal. Sometimes you feel the lack of power, but it's still fairly good. I'm happy using this desktop, and the Linux environment is something that I am fond of, and this actually gives me a lot of options for that. So let's begin with the all the components. First, I have the Raspberry Pi itself. As you can see, it's the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus, and I have these small heat sinks on them. They're not ideal, they don't do much, but still, it's better than nothing. So, I also have this 64 GB card here to have most of the data, but still I use this 32 gigs of pen drive for that storage needs that I have for all the multiple files, and sometimes I do even put my external hard drive on it, but it doesn't work that well on the Raspberry Pi. So mostly I'm using the pen drive and the SD card. So yeah, that's the most of the space that I have on this, and like I already said, that this is something that I thrown together from most of the component I already had in the house lying around. So the monitor I already had in the house, it's a fairly simple display, and the keyboard. The keyboard isn't ideal. It doesn't have the right side alt and the control, and it's not what you would say a proper QWERTY. So yeah, but it's okay. It's workable. I'm not a big fan of this keyboard, but I already had it lying around, so I just put it on this small setup. So one thing that I did invest in is this converter. So this monitor is a VGA monitor, and as you all might already know, the Raspberry Pi has a HDMI output. So this converters take the HDMI output from the Raspberry Pi and converts it to the VGI so that my monitor can read it. Now one disadvantage to that is that the HDMI also transfers audio which VGI cannot pick up. So the audio is lost when converting from HDMI to VGI. So this monitor doesn't have audio anywhere on it. So for that I'm using this Bluetooth speaker that I already have with me. It was given to me. So it was something that I could just throw around, that I just put it with this system. It isn't connected in any way, but with the Bluetooth connectivity you can get the audio from the Raspberry Pi. So yeah, other than that, the mouse and everything was already with me. So let's just turn on the system. So as I turn on, you already know what happens. We get all the color screens and everything. But what I have done with my Raspberry Pi is I have put Berry Boot on it, which you can see right here. I already have the Berry Boot with 3OS already on it. Why I have put Berry Boot here is because I like Raspbian. It's something that I would use for uh, like programming and stuff. So this is a good environment for programming on Raspberry. But when I'm using more desktop works and everything, so I'm using Ubuntu Mate, and this is fairly good OS in terms of a Linux environment, and all the Ubuntu stuff is already there on it. I have customized it for my liking. So yeah, that's why I put Berry Boot to have multiple OS on it, and I have also customized those OS for my own liking. So yeah, this is basically what I have here, and This is actually, I'm very surprised that this actually works quite good. I mean, I wasn't expecting a full-fledged uh, desktop environment which gives all the access to the softwares and functionality that I usually want from a basic setup, but it's actually quite decent. And I actually enjoy working on Raspberry Pi as a desktop, and yeah, it's fairly good. I mean, I really enjoying it, and I love this environment, and using it as a simple desktop is nice. I have my Chromium installed on it for my all my browsing. I have also put in some of the software that I need on this. You can also do your programming of Python in it, but I feel that Raspbian is a much better environment for that. I have also got the launcher activated as well as the all the locks displayed, and yeah, I mean, I use Wi-Fi on it, but basically it's a fairly simple Linux environment, and I really enjoy using it. So that is my entire Raspberry Pi desktop setup, and yeah, I mean, it's not as powerful as my laptop, but while it's being fixed, yeah, it's a good setup, and I really enjoy working on it.